Good evening, US and Atlantic weather news. We're so glad to be with you at the start of this new week. As the weather picture across the Atlantic and the North American continent is showing signs of a major atmospheric transition. In today's broadcast, we'll cover three main topics. Keycap 1 first, the developing situation over the Atlantic, where a new tropical disturbance is quickly organizing and could soon become the next named storm, Hurricane Jerry. Keycap 2 next, the heavy rainfall and flooding threat across parts of the continental United States, especially in the Midwest and the Ohio River Valley. Keycap 3 and finally, we'll take a look ahead at the next 10 days, with alternating periods of warmth, cold, and multiple low and high pressure systems shaping the weather across the U.S. during the first half of October. Cyclone 1, the Atlantic, disturbance likely to become Hurricane Jerry within 48 hours. According to the latest report from the National Hurricane Center, NHC, a tropical disturbance deep in the main development region, MDR, the primary breeding ground for tropical cyclones, is showing significant convective growth. It now has a 70% chance of developing into a fully organized tropical system within the next 7 days. If named, this will be Hurricane Jerry, the 11th storm of the 2025 Atlantic season. Satellite imagery shows well-defined convective bands curling around a developing low-level center, located about 1.200 kilometers east of the Cabo Verde Islands. These cloud patterns indicate an improving structure with a consistent west-to-west-northwest motion. Both the GFS and ECMWF models agree that by around October 8, this system could strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane, heading toward the Lesser Antilles, including Barbados, Dominica, Antigua, and St. Kitts. However, long-range model runs suggest that Jerry could later turn northward and move out into the open Atlantic, becoming what forecasters call a fish storm, one that stays at sea without affecting land. That would spare the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and the U.S. mainland from direct impacts. Still, NHC forecasters caution that this safe scenario could change, especially if Jerry intensifies faster than expected and interacts with a weakening subtropical ridge. Residents across the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda are advised to closely monitor daily forecasts, particularly between October 8 to 12. When the system could reach its peak intensity. At this time, winds near the center are around 35 km per hour, with central pressure estimated between 1007 to 1009 MB. Sea surface temperatures across the MDR remain at 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, providing a highly favorable environment for development. Wind shear is currently weak, though mid-level dry air and Saharan dust may temporarily limit intensification, meaning Jerry is likely to strengthen gradually through the week. Cloud with rain 2, heavy rain across the United States, Midwest in the center of a moisture plume. Turning to the U.S. mainland, a broad trough stretching from the Central Plains to the lower Mississippi Valley is bringing widespread rainfall across the Midwest. According to the Weather Prediction Center, WPC, states along the Ohio Valley, including Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri, are under a level 2 of 5 risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding. Since early this morning, rain has been expanding eastward along the Ohio River corridor. Cities such as Louisville, Cincinnati, Paducah, and Nashville are expected to see 50 to 100 millimeters of rain, with localized amounts over 130 millimeters. Rainfall will continue through tomorrow, steady but widespread, raising the risk of urban flooding, creek overflows, and small landslides in hilly areas. Interestingly, this rain is falling over regions that have been under drought, bringing both benefits and hazards. It will help replenish groundwater and soil moisture. But if rainfall rates get too high, drainage systems may be overwhelmed, leading to temporary flooding. The good news: there's little risk of severe thunderstorms or damaging winds this time. It's mainly autumn-type soaking rain, long-lasting, steady, and beneficial overall. By tomorrow, the rain band will shift eastward into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and northern Virginia, while the western portions of Kentucky and Tennessee begin drying out. By Thursday, much of the mid-Atlantic and Midwest will turn drier and warmer. Just before a cold front sweeps in over the weekend. Cloud with rain 3. Southwest, Priscilla, brings rare desert rainfall. While the east deals with persistent rain, the southwest is finally getting a rare soaking. A Pacific low-pressure system named Priscilla is moving north from Baja California, funneling deep tropical moisture into Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and the Texas Panhandle. Forecast models indicate 125 to 175 millimeters, 5 to 7 inches, of total rainfall over the next 10 days, with localized amounts exceeding 200 millimeters, 8 inches, in the mountain regions. This may trigger flash floods or landslides in the normally dry terrain, especially in northern Arizona and the Colorado Plateau. However, it will also bring major relief to long-term drought conditions, replenishing reservoirs around Phoenix and the Sonoran Desert. After Priscilla dissipates, another upper low is forecast to form offshore, continuing to pump moisture into the region. That means a week of unusually wet, humid weather for the southwest, a welcome change after months of relentless heat and dryness. Wind phase 4, East Coast nor'easter, first of the season developing. Meanwhile, along the East Coast, another phenomenon is taking shape, the season's first nor'easter. This system, currently forming off the southeast coast, could intensify into a powerful coastal low by the weekend. Between Saturday and Sunday, October 11 to 12, the storm is projected to brush past the Carolinas, then ride up the Atlantic coastline toward the mid-Atlantic and New England. Expected rainfall totals range from 100 to 150 millimeters, 4 to 6 inches. With winds of 60 to 80 kilometers per hour, 40 to 50 miles per hour, offshore. Coastal flooding could occur in Long Island, Rhode Island, and Cape Cod due to storm surge and high tides. Although not tropical, this nor'easter could produce impacts similar to a strong winter storm, with gale-force winds, high surf, and days of steady rain. Residents along the East Coast should pay close attention to forecasts later this week and avoid underestimating early-season nor'easters, which often mark the transition to colder air masses descending from Canada. Sun 5, temperatures and outlook, last burst of heat before cold air arrives. While the East braces for rain, the central U.S. is experiencing a burst of unseasonable heat. Temperatures are running 5 to 8 degrees Celsius above normal, with highs reaching 34 to 36 degrees Celsius, 93 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit, in Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, and Missouri. This is expected to be the final heatwave of fall, caused by a strong high-pressure ridge over the central states, temporarily blocking cold air from Canada. This warm spell should persist until around October 11th, before a deep western trough ushers in the first major cold outbreak of the season. Between October 13 to 15, the Rockies, Northern California, Oregon, and Idaho could see temperature drops of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, with early season snow likely on higher terrain. This cold air mass will then slide eastward into the Midwest and Great Lakes, signaling that winter may arrive earlier than usual this year. Folded hands. Final thought, a word of faith and hope. Friends, as nature's forces shift, storms form and fade, warmth gives way to cold. One thing remains constant: human resilience and compassion. Before we close, we'd like to share a verse from 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 58. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm, let nothing move you, always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. In both weather and life, there are things beyond our control, but we can always remain calm, caring, and prayerful for those affected by storms, floods, or hardship. If you have a prayer request or a message of encouragement, please share it in the comments. We will pray together in our next broadcast. That concludes today's U.S. and Atlantic weather news for October 6, 2025. Tonight, we've tracked a developing storm in the Atlantic, Heavy rain from the Midwest to the East Coast. The first cold surge of fall. And early signs of winter out west. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our weather family. If you found this update helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a forecast. Have a peaceful week ahead, stay safe, stay prepared, and may the weather be kind to you. Goodbye, and God bless.